Hello, my fiery friends. Welcome to another awesome and fiery fun stream. I'm your host, the Infernoman here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you are at. Wow, am I actually going to do back-to-back streams this weekend? I'm completely lost my mind. Although, to be honest, I think I probably lost my mind maybe about a year ago when I decided to come back to streaming anyway. But that's neither here nor there. We're getting closer and closer to Halloween season, and if you missed out on yesterday's unique exclusive stream, check that out. That's going to be there for the members-only part of the channel. But let's not talk about that for now. Instead, we want to get back into our main focus for the channel, which is going to be budget jank fun here in MTG Arena. What exactly are we going to be playing today? Well, let's just say I'm oozing with delight, if you will, for this one. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into it right now and explain to you exactly what deck we're going to be playing with today. All right, where are we at? There we go. Awesome. Okay, so as I was mentioning earlier, join me today in the Brawl format for a deck that is simply primed for slime time. That's right, we're going to be playing a Sultai Oozes deck for us here in Brawl. So, as always, for those of you that are new to these streams, I'd like to again try to give you a quick little brief overview. We'll go over the stats of the deck, we'll talk about every single card as quick as possible, and then we'll play as many matches as we can in the Brawl format. So it's only going to be best of one, but we'll be playing that for the first half of the stream. Second half of the stream, we'll upgrade the deck and take it to the next level, if you do like, of course, what we are playing here today. So, we're going to be starting, of course, playing with the Mimeoplasm here, or is it the Mimeoplasm? I don't remember how to pronounce that. Words are hard, by the way. In any case, Mimeoplasm here, Revered One, is going to be our Sultai commander here for our Oozes. It is X and Sultai colors, 0/0 legendary creature Ooze. As the Mimeoplasm enters, exile up to X creature cards from your graveyard. It enters with 3+1/+1 counters on it for each creature exiled this way. And for 2 mana instant speed, the Mimeoplasm can become a copy of target creature card it was exiled with it, except it's a 0/0 and has this ability. So you can kind of use it to morph around whatever you need to make it exactly what you want it to do. Of course, you could just play this like a typical kind of like, you know, just throw together whatever good stuff you can, maybe throw it into the graveyard, and then Mimeoplasm can be whatever it wants to be. But what fun would that be? As always, you know me, I love to play, of course, jank stuff, so I also like to play creature focus decks. So without that, let's just now focus instead on something that usually doesn't get that much support, but we have enough of it to make one whole deck out of it, and that is going to be, of course, an Ooze deck. So that's actually the focus of today's deck and kind of how we're going to make our commander work. Let's actually now cover the stats of the deck because, as always, longtime viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we completely dive right in. So, prime slime time for Brawl, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be blue, black, and green. We're looking at an average mana curve of about 2.8, and we'll be rocking a total of 26 creatures in the deck, 17 instants, 21 sorceries, 4 artifacts, 2 enchantments, and 30 lands. Keep in mind, as always, the lands do always look a little low, but it's because, again, we're using a lot of Moto spells. So now that we've covered that and the Mimeoplasm here, let's go ahead, let's introduce you to all the Ooze that we're going to be dumping into this deck. First off, of course, in the one-drop slot, we'll go over some of our support pieces, such as Annul here, a counterspell for artifacts and enchantments. Wash Away, another counterspell for us, and usually hose of commanders. Bone Shards here, and Fatal Push will be some spot removal that we can use. Changeling Outcast. This is technically not an Ooze, but it is a Changeling, so it's an honorary Ooze. But the reason why we want it is because it can't be blocked, so that's the main reason why we have it. We'll throw in Experiment 1 here, Human Ooze with the Evolve ability. Anytime again another creature enters, put +1/+1 counters on this Ooze. You could remove 2 if you need to regenerate it, so this can be good for chump blocking at any point in the game. Hardened Scales, because we are going to be doing a lot of +1/+1 counter shenanigans. Although it is a budget deck, we can afford this at least to help just pump up more of our counters. Thirsting Roots here just helps us dig out a basic land, or we can use it to proliferate, so we kind of have a little sub-theme with the deck where we're going to be proliferating to start pumping up even more +1/+1 counters into our creatures. Ochre Jelly here, so an X in green, X 0/0 Ooze. It has trample, but it also has Ward 2 for good for protection. Although granted, it does have a little bit of an awkwardness because it has been buffed from its alchemy version, but we'll take it this time. The creature enters with X+1 counters on it, and you can split it up when it dies, and then it can convert into extra Oozes depending on how many counters we have. So for example, if you have, say, 2 counters on it, then it creates a token that's a copy of at the beginning of the next end step, and then you have to round them down half as many once you make that token. So kind of a hard card to beat once you start putting a ton of counters on it. In the 2-drop slot here, we'll have some more Ways, of course, to dig out the cards. So Experimental Augury here, dig 3 cards deep, and Proliferate. Mana Leak here, another awesome counter spell for countering target spells unless our opponent plays 3. Negate here is going to be another catch-all for us to counter non-creature spells. Serum Snare here, we're going to be bouncing non-land permanents back with this, and as long as 3 mana or less, we get to Proliferate. Slick Imitator here, a blue ooze, start your engines can trigger with this, and then once you get to max speed, you sacrifice this creature at instant speed to then copy a spell of any kind you want. So this can help us again make more oozes if we want to, or maybe just copy one of our instances or sorceries. Wild Rose Rebellion here, slash Counterspell. Now that it's actually been downshifted here in Arena, we can use Counterspell properly in Arena. Feed the Swarm here for more spot removal to take out creatures or enchantments. Heartless Act here. There's going to be some moments where you actually want to remove counters from a creature, so don't underestimate that. That actually could be helpful for us depending on the situations. Hectic Eyes here is going to be a black ooze, Ooze Horror. When it enters, to make an opponent discard a card. Corrosive Ooze, this is a very situational ooze, and usually you're probably never going to need this one. But again, it is an ooze, so I want to throw it into the deck, even if it is jank. If you use this to block a creature that it's equipped, you can destroy the equipment attached to that at the end of combat. So it can be helpful for, again, just dealing with stuff like, I don't know, like Swiftfoot Boots or whatever. Could be good there. Newfound Adventure slash Farseek, just helping us with ramping by digging out what land we need to. Mass Vandal, same thing, kind of like the Changeling Outcast here. It's a Shapeshifter Changeling. So this is an honorary ooze, and it is a good one for our deck. When it enters, exile an creature card from our graveyard to exile an artifact or enchantment. This can deal with pesky stuff that is indestructible. Ozolith the Shattered Spire here. So again, this is again more support for us to get more +1/+1 counters on our creatures, and we can start using it to build up more. Scavenging Ooze here, a classic ooze here that came to us once again from Foundations. Use it to exile cards, so this way it's graveyard hate, and if you can exile creature cards, you gain life, and also +1/+1 counters on the ooze. Synchronized Charge here, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters from 1 or 2 target creatures, so this helps us with that. Those creatures will gain Vigilance and Trample until end of turn, which helps us again push through damage, and you can harmonize with it for 5 mana. Unnatural Restoration here brings back a permanent card from our graveyard to the battlefield and proliferating. Golgari Charm and Simic Charm are going to be added into this deck, so Golgari Charm can be used either for enchantment hate, regenerating creatures, or giving everything -1/-1. Simic Charm here is our protection, which can give all of our permanents hexproof until end of turn. You use it to pump up a creature, or just bounce back whatever we need to our hand. Arcane Signet, we are 3 colors, so we're going to need, of course, the mana fixing. In the 3-drop slot, we'll have Hydroelectric Specimen. This is a weird, so it's not an ooze, but again, its utility is too good for us to pass up. It can also be, of course, a land in a pinch. Mirror Image here is a Shapeshifter. You can use this to copy any creature we control when it enters the battlefield, so this is good for us to kind of just double up on what we need to. Salinity Vision slash Salinity Isle, it's either a tap land, or you can use it to dig 6 cards deep to dig an instant or sorcery. Drix Interception here is an expensive counterspell, but it's actually a really good one because, again, you can counterspell and tap down 2 creatures for tempo. Sink into Stupor here. We're going to be, of course, utilizing this either as a land, or you can use it to make it a bounce effect. Boggart Trawler here. We're going to be, of course, utilizing this for more graveyard hate. It is a goblin, so again, it's not an ooze, but it still works for us just the same. Venomous Changeling here. Again, another honorary ooze for us, which has Death Touch, which can be very relevant for what we're doing today. We have Withering Torment here. We can use this to destroy a creature or an enchantment. We will, of course, lose 2 life, but of course, it's good for spot removal. Choking Miasma here. You can then use this to give every creature -2/-2 until end of turn, and of course, you can kick it to get a +1/+1 counter. We also have here Oran Risen Words. Sorry, guys. So Oran Reef Ooze here. So it's a rare. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control. Anytime this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control with a +1/+1 counter, so they can get really big out of the way. Let's see. Hold on one second, everybody. Hold on. Wait, hold on one second. Something's popping up on my side here. Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second, everybody. I apologize. I do have a moment here I gotta take care of here. So hold on. Okay, we're gonna pause. We're gonna pause for a second. Somebody's at my door. Hold on. Okay. We all there, everybody? Sorry about that. Okay, so we just had we just had some people that were just causing issues over outside. Nothing to worry about. Let's go ahead. Let's get back into this now. Okay, so resetting the vibe here. Okay. There we are. Awesome. Okay. Phew. Okay, where are we at now? Okay, we're going to be at Ball Again Recovery here. Use this again to bounce back a card from our graveyard to our hand. And then, of course, you can use this as a land. Brew Rage Work Battles here. Use this as one of our fight spells here to pump up our creatures. Or, again, you can use it as a land. Carnivorous Canopy for artifact enchantment or flying hate. And, of course, we can use this to proliferate to get more +1/+1 counters. Courage and Crisis here. Put +1/+1 counter on a creature, and then we can proliferate. Slime Against Humanity. So, of course, this had to be in the deck itself. We don't have enough slimes, in my opinion, to kind of round out the package ideally. So, Slime Against Humanity will give us 9 copies itself into our deck, which can help kind of round out our slimes. And also, it can actually be, ironically, a really good finisher for the deck, because this gets bigger and bigger for every every ooze that we have named either Slime Against Humanity, oozes in the graveyard, or even in exile. So it doesn't matter if our opponent exiles stuff, we can still make big slimes with this. Expanding Ooze here, it has Adapt 1, and also when this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on a modified creature we control. Sultai Charm here, use it to, of course, do it for whatever you need to, drawing cards, artifact enchantment hate, or destroying a monocolored creature. Bloodline Pretender here, so it's another changeling. We'd, of course, choose oozes with it. Anytime another creature we control enters with an ooze type, we can put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Patchwork Banner here. Well, of course, we're going to be naming our oozes to give them an extra little bit of pump, but of course, it's just going to be a good mana rock overall for us. Grave Shifter here, another one of our honorary oozes. It's a changeling, and it enters. Bring back a creature card from our graveyard to our hand. Fell the Profane here for, again, more spot removal, but of course you can use it as a land. Gelatinous Cube here is going to be a unique ooze. When this ooze enters, exile a non-ooze creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. Usually you get this kind of effect only with white cards, so it's actually kind of nice that we actually get this with one of our creatures here. And of course it has the dissolve ability, so for X and black, put a target creature card with a mana value of X exiled with this creature into its owner's graveyard. So you kind of dissolve it and put it away once you, of course, you can get it out of the way with the cube. Ooze Patrol here, so going to be 4 mana, 2/2 ooze. When this creature enters, mill 2 cards, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. Temperamental Oozewag here. This is actually a cute one, by the way. Look at that cute little face on him. He looks so adorable, by the way. In any case, so it has Adapt 3. I'm sorry, actually Adapt 2 for 3. And then Modify creatures we control have Trample. It is an ooze, so we're going to take advantage of that ability. Binding of the Old Gods here, one of my favorite sagas, destroys a non-land permanent an opponent controls. Part 2, digs out a forest. And then Part 3, creatures we control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Prime Speaker Vanifar here, awesome card here. And although technically we're not really a... what's the word I'm searching for here? I can't figure it out. But what I'm trying to say is, this is going to be a unique card for our deck because we can use this to sacrifice oozes we don't need to then, for example, I guess you could say level up and get stronger oozes out of our deck with it. So it's actually pretty sweet for us to get to the bigger stuff for a cheaper cost. Acidic Slime in the 5-drop slot here destroys an artifact, enchantment, or land. Biogenic Ooze, one of my favorite oozes actually. When this one enters, make a 2/2 green ooze creature token, and at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each ooze we control. So this will pump up the team a lot. And for 4 mana, you can create another ooze creature token. So this will make our army of oozes grow big. Consuming Blob here, 5 mana. It's an asterisk and asterisk +1. So Consuming Blob's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. So kind of like a Tarmogoyf, if you will, for oozes. And at the beginning of your end step, create a green ooze creature token with this token's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. So in other words, this will again build up our ooze army, kind of just making copies of itself. Aveen, a Progenitor Ooze, I hope I said that correctly, but this ooze is a legendary one with the Storm ability. I don't know if we're going to really storm off today, but if we can, this also would be an amazingly powerful card. It enters with +1/+1 counter on it for each ooze we control. We have Gift/Take, put 3 +1/+1 counters on a creature, or you can remove all +1/+1 counters from a creature we control and draw that many cards. So it can be a sneaky way to rebuild our hand, or at least pump up something. Ice Flawn here, 6 mana, 5/4 elemental ooze. When it enters, tap a target artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. You can also island cycle it if you need to, just to dig out whatever you need to for ramping. And then finally, another card that's not an ooze, but again, it's so good utility-wise, we have to throw it into the deck. Disciple of Freyalise, 6 mana, 3/3 elf druid. When it enters, sacrifice another creature. If we do, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. And of course, to wrap up the whole game plan here, we'll utilize here 3 islands in the land drops, a Bajuka Bog for Graveyard Hate, 3 swamps, 7 forests, and all the tap lands we can muster up because, again, we are a budget deck, so we're going to make do with what we can. Dismal Backwater, Ice Tunnel, Soured Springs, Festering Gulch, Jungle Hollow, Woodland Chasm, Lush Oasis, Rimewood Falls, Thornwood Falls, Foreboding Landscape for fetching, Opulent Palace is our cheap way of fixing for all 3 colors, Arid Archway to bounce back stuff we can reuse and recast as spells, Command Tower is a staple, Demolition Field for non-basic land hate, and Escape Tunnel and Evolving Wilds rounds out our fetch lands. And that is prime slime time, everybody. So now, of course, comes the fun part. Let's take this into the Brawl format. Let's play some matches with the deck, and let's see how well it can do. All right. Got our ball there. We'll talk about the slime upgraded deck, of course, halfway through the stream. So probably the next, like, maybe about 45 minutes, don't worry. We'll go over, of course, the upgraded one. And that means it gets absolutely wild after that point. Okay. Game face on, everybody.
It's time to
Yeah. All right. All right, so our opponent right now is playing Rocco Street Chef. Okay, so they're going to be trying to make a lot of food against us. Will food or oozes beat it out? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Feeling pretty good about this one. All right, opponents. All right, so they got their Jetmir's Garden. That's cute. We'll start off with a Festering Gulch. Ping our opponents. Okay. Bloodstained Mire. So obviously our opponent's going to be playing at a much higher level than us, but we'll still work with what we got. Question for everybody out there as we're getting started here. Would you actually like to see Wizards add to Arena a ranked Brawl queue? That was actually a question that came up from another location. I would like to know your opinions on that one, everybody. We're going to Fatal Push away Inti. Okay, so got rid of our early game threat there. Okay, here comes Rocco. Okay, so they do help us exile a bit, but it's not really anything we can use. So we'll hurt ourselves with Fel the Profane. We'll play our Slime Against Humanity. Okay, the first ooze is on board. Oh yeah, opponents. We are all about oozes today. Alright. Give and take could be helpful for later on. Alright. Ooh, okay, Patchwork Banner. Granted, of course, this does mean that they will get something out of the deal, but that's a small price to pay. We'll, of course, name Ooze. Soured Springs. Ping our opponents. And no attacks yet. So, Innkeeper's Talent. Okay. That would be one of the best upgrades you can give this deck, but we'll talk about that once we actually get to that section. Okay, there goes their food. Birds of Paradise. Alright, opponent is going off. Ugh. Not good, but we actually have played Rocco in the past, so it's something that if you are interested in, everybody, don't worry. We've actually done that beforehand. Okay, so with that at least, now we can actually really start pumping up our team. So let's go ahead and Venomous Changeling. Bajuka Bog. Not much value, but I guess we'll use it. Okay, no attacks yet. Okay, so game plan right now. We could use Venomous Changeling with Prime Speaker Vanifar, sacrifice the Changeling to get an ooze of a mana value 4. We have options here. Opponent, what else you got? Visions of Phyrexia. Oh boy. Alright. Opponent is all about doing their thing here, so Scavenging Ooze. They're still going to get pumped up, though. Still annoying, but we can still make it work. They ping us. But at least now we have some more oozes to throw out there. Okay. We will... Let's see. Do we actually... Okay, I guess we will. All right. Prime Speaker Vanifar coming down. Still no attacks, actually. Okay. Opponents. Opponent is definitely going off here. So, looks like they're... Actually, they have a kind of a cool deck. I kind of like their idea. We played Rocco... What was it? I think we played Rocco last year? Or was it 2 years ago for Thanksgiving? That was our holiday deck which I realize now we're coming up on pretty quick. But this one is actually pretty cool because I like that now with these support pieces, you can use Rocco to build up food and also just keep pinging out your opponents. So kind of a cool idea. I want to see if I can maybe pull this off maybe in 60 card, maybe for a future deck tech. We'll see what we can do. Okay, they got Hallie. Oh, they got doubling season too. Ugh. That's terrible for us. Doubling season. All right. Okay. We might be in trouble. Okay, they still do an exiling. Okay. Well, choking miasma here doesn't help us too much. All it just does is, I mean, it pumps up everything we have. But they don't mine us that hard, though. Alright, in that case, then, Slime Against Humanity. Urgent Crisis. Pump that up. Prime Speaker Vannifar on the Changeling. Let's get out a stronger Ooze. Okay, we'll get out Gelatinous Cube. We can exile, so it's only Ward 1, so that's actually not too bad. Pay the ward cost. Okay, so their commander is now out. Or at least they have to pay again. We will swing with the Scavenging Ooze. Down to 13. It's still kind of anybody's game. Let's see what our opponent does here. Rocco coming back. Alright, they really want to keep that in there. Okay, Halia. Alright. Okay. They're still doing their thing. Maybe we should have gotten rid of the Reckless Fireweaver. I'm not sure. Our opponent is completely going off the rails here. We are just on the ride, completely getting wrecked here. Having said that, though, I do like their deck, so I'm probably going to see if I can try to steal it for myself later on. Okay. Still going. Alright. I don't think we're going to survive the swing. We're pretty much dead at this point. Wow. They did manage to go off here a huge amount. Okay. Farseek doesn't really do anything for us. I guess at this point the Mimeoplasm. For 1. Not for any real value, by the way. Opponent's gone off a little too hard here. And we just don't really have an option to get around stuff. I mean, at this point, I could just sacrifice Gelatinous Cube. Is there anything in our deck we can pull out at this point to just blow up stuff? I mean, I guess that helps out a little bit, sort of, but not really. Corrosive Ooze. Farseek. Last card. So at this point, I mean, yeah. I don't think we're going to survive here. But we tried. We still put up a decent army, and Prime Speaker Vannifar does help out the deck quite a bit. Okay. So. Alright, so now at this point, our opponent's going to go absolutely bonkers with counters. That improvisability is what really kind of hurt us. That was the one thing that allowed our opponent to completely go nuts with us here. I don't even remember what it was. This way. Okay, yes. That's what killed us. The improvise alone is what destroyed our entire plan here, but that's okay. I'll let our opponent do their thing. At this point, they're pretty much just ready to ping us out. They don't even have to swing at us. Joy. Alright, well. That... yeah. I got nothing, honestly. I honestly have nothing. I'm just waiting for our opponent to just finish this. That way they can just... they swing. Alright, there it is. We get killed by a bird. Birds of Paradise of all creatures actually destroyed us, everybody. Wow. Did we have fun with that one? I mean, it was a fun deck they had, but yeah, we got wrecked there hard. But this, again, leads me again to the question I do want to ask everyone and want to remind everybody. So, would you like to see a ranked Brawl queue? Is that something that would be more appealing to you guys? That way you can kind of move all the, I guess you could say the competitive Brawl players, CDH if you will, in paper. But yes, competitive Brawl to one queue where they can all rank up and just do their shenanigans like combo decks. And ideally, that would mean the casual, non-ranked lobbies would be the jank piles. Of course, in my personal experience, it's not always like that. You do have people that will pub stomp in the free non-ranked lobbies just to get their dailies done. Not that I'm saying I don't do that myself sometimes if I'm on a pinch on time. In any case, shaking this off. Play our hardened scales to get our start here. Our opponent's playing Garuda here, so they're probably also a combo deck. Joy. But we'll see. Maybe we can get around this. We do have at least the wash away, so that is good. Alright, in the meantime, play the command tower. Okay, opponent, what else you got? As long as we can combo, I'm sorry, like stop their combo, we should be good to go. Play the Evolving Wilds. So if we just counterspell Garuda here, then we can set them back a whole turn. That might be enough. The Terminus, okay. Okay, opponents. More signets. That's cute. And we will sacrifice our Evolving Wilds now. We will get out... What do we want to get out? I guess we'll get out the island. Just to make sure we have enough for natural counterspell. And a null. That's cute too. Okay, so in the meantime, we're going to have to wait it out here. So that's what we're going to have to do at this point. We're now waiting to see. Okay. Opponent. Here it comes. Okay, Garuda's coming down. So at this point, we'll do a hard counterspell. Too bad, opponents. Send it back. Send it back. Okay, escape tunnel. That's cute too. Guess we'll sacrifice now. And then we'll get out... Get a swamp. Still can't do much of anything right now. At least until we can kind of just make sure we keep the rest of their combo off the field. Sneaky Toilet! Hello, my fire friend! Long time no see, and thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Can't stay because I'm heading off to bed. Sad that I've missed so many of your streams. Hope you're doing okay on your side, my good man. I'm doing fine. It's just been, again, a tiring experience. But yeah, sorry to hear that you can't stick around. But that's okay, my friend. I appreciate you still popping in when you can. So thank you for that. Hopefully, again, you've been doing well too. I, of course, like to make sure that all of you that I know who pop in and out when you can are still doing just fine. The work shift change makes it tough. Trust me. My next several shifts I've been trying to move around have resulted in me, unfortunately, having to do weird times and weird days for streams. My schedule is just not consistent right now, and it kind of drives me nuts, by the way. Because I usually don't stream on Sundays, but that's just how it is right now with me as well. So I totally get you on that. But the fact that you can pop in does make me appreciate that you're still here. Hopefully, again, you can join in also for the next non-Magic stream in the future. We had actually that yesterday. We actually put up a... we voted on the Dead Space stream, which worked out fun, at least until my stream pooped out. And then the... Well, how do I put this? The quality of the stream completely went downhill. Okay, our opponent's going to try to go off here. Do they do it? Abomination. Okay. Toots. Alright, they get our Slime Against Humanity. Okay. Surgical Metamorph. Alright, so they still doing their stupid shenanigans. Jeez. Actually, it wasn't. Well, I guess you could say I played Dead Space, but I played the OG one. So this was like 2008. So I had no idea. I mean, I had the basics done, more or less. I mean, how do I put this? Let's just say I knew what I was getting into with the game. Because I remember the basics. It's just been so long since I've actually played the game. It got to a point where I totally forgot a lot of the cheap tactics to kind of cheese my way through the early part of the game. So I ended up dying quite a few times, but we still had fun with it. If the community is interested, we can always do another day where we can continue the game, or maybe we can play a new game while our opponent also is just going off here. All right. I'm not dealing with this right now. Nah, I'm not dealing with that. Yeah, sorry everybody. I'm still not fond of combo decks. It's usually not my thing. I could do a combo deck, but this one was just kind of okay. It was feeling like I was not doing anything. It's all good though. Just okay, shake it off and try again. So you can all asking, do you play Elden Ring? I'd love to see you jam that on stream too. I think maybe I'll put that one to a vote. Maybe we want to do that for the November bonus stream. But a question with that for everybody is, I guess I would ask everybody how, like, if they would want to see it. The only twist, of course, is I have never played any of those Soul-like games. I mean, I guess what's the closest I could think of? A Zelda game? I mean, I'm not an Elden Ring person. It looks fun, but I look like I'll probably be the person that's going to die a lot. So I guess I'll leave it at that. But I'll put it to a vote for November. So maybe I'll do this maybe like once a month, or I might just throw out there a game that like, hey, everybody, if you want to see this, like, vote on the game you would like to see me play and look and kind of, I don't know, you might laugh at how terrible I am at a game. But we'll see. I would love to start doing a little bit more of that, where we can do more fun community, like non-magic stuff. And I'll dump them, of course, into the members side after a certain point. See, Toilet, I can help you do the boss fights. You're in for... Oh. Yeah, I imagine I'm going to get completely shreked if I play that game. But I think the only question, or at least the only issue I might run into is, can my computer currently handle that game? On the other hand, we handled Dead Space pretty well until the stream pooped out. I mean, don't feel like you have to carry me. I think it would probably be absolutely hilarious, though, if everybody kind of just started watching me get completely wrecked before I kind of got a little help. Truth be told, though, I'd be okay with it. But I also want to kind of give it a shot for myself to see, like, okay, what am I going to get into? Am I going to get completely wrecked here? Am I going to find my way around? Or am I going to be like, I need all the help in the world? Okay, Corrosive Ooze. Okay, so our opponent is playing Tifa, so that means we're going to get... We're going to get a lot of pump coming our way in a bit. No attacks yet. Okay. Alright. We still need to get to the patchwork banner. That's our key piece here. And then we can start building up everything else. Well, this might be a fun idea. So maybe we'll do that. And I would like to start doing maybe like in the future, maybe a multiplayer game or two, where we can then invite the community in if you guys want to actually play something together. Maybe some kind of goofy co-op game in the future, but we'll see. The hard part, again, is just trying to coordinate time to put together this and put it with everybody. Okay, opponent played Praise Vengeance. Okay, they'll rebound that eventually. Okay. Opponent's still pumping up Tifa here. Can we survive this? Oh, Spring Bloom Druid. Ugh. Not good. Your PC might have issues with Elden Ring. Try Dead Souls 3 instead. Much easier to run, and the game made me fall in love with the Souls games. Okay. Okay, cool. Good to know. All right. Meantime, our opponent here has us completely destroyed. Even with... Wow, they actually went off pretty fast here. Down to 6. Dang, we just couldn't beat them there. Okay, so... Okay. We failed to get any more lands, and I think that's now what killed us. We just had no way of protecting ourselves here. Dang. So, but since it was my first Souls game, I spent nearly a full hour dying to the first boss, and your first boss in the first 2 minutes of playing. At least I know you have strong constitution, so I rate you would power through. I mean, trust me, I've played through some tough games in my day. I've definitely had my rounds of games that I love, but also I'm a glutton for punishment on certain games. I guess I would also have to pull out the list again to see, like, or maybe, yeah, maybe, I don't know if I'll put out on the list again if everybody wants to see me retry. I guess we'll ask that if everybody wants to see me finish Dead Space, or if you guys want to see me start a new game with a completely different vibe to it. I'll leave that, of course, as a poll, probably once we get through a bit of Avatar. Thankfully, Avatar previews are coming up soon, so I'm really hoping that that game, or at least that set, will be a banger. Because honestly, I've just been so over the Spider-Man stuff that I really look forward to. All right, at least we can get our opponent here. Gotcha, opponents. Too bad. There we go. Okay. Down to 5. And we managed to whiff their Tifa. Okay, failed to Profane. Not quite the spell I wanted. Alright, well, I mean, we're not dead. If our opponent has Pump, they need it now. Alright, Springleaf Drum. Anything else, opponents? I know it's too early, but I highly recommend the strength build for the Souls game. Definitely makes life easier. Okay, I'll write that down or make a note of that somewhere. Okay. I actually would be down to try maybe some games that I have no knowledge of, just to see how good or bad I will be. But we'll see about that. In the meantime, Slime against humanity. Yeah, that's all we can do. Alright, come on. Come on. Bring it on, opponents. We have 1 blocker. We technically can go down to 1 here, at minimum. 4 cards in hand, opponent. What else you got? Anything else? Opponents? I'm pretty sure they're just going to do a... Oh, they're not swinging? Does that mean they have nothing in hand? Well, that actually might be in our favor. Patchwork Banner. So this might be our shot here to survive. We'll see. Opponents? We will name, of course, our Ooze. We will discard a card. Try to take out Tifa here. Let's see, what do we want? Or at least, what do we get rid of? We'll throw away our Ooze there. Opponent, do you have protection? They probably have protection. I'd be very shocked if they did have protection in green. Ooh, they actually didn't have protection. Wow. Hey, we might actually have a shot here. Maybe. If we had some light gain right now, I think I'd be feeling a little bit safer. Okay, so far, we're not dead. We are forcing our opponent to use more of the resources than they probably anticipated. Okay, in the meantime, because they need to go over this. Anything else, opponents? Okay, expanding Ooze. So that's not bad either. Alright, so... Mimeoplasm. For 1. We'll use this to exile... What do we want here? Slick Imitator. Okay. So we now have blockers on board. Still no attacks, because we've got to make sure we can protect on the backswing. Alright, we have Unnatural Restoration. If we could just get some more lands, we might be able to stabilize here. But just barely. We're still in the danger zone. Can we stop our opponent here? Or does our opponent... Okay, they got Wild Shape. Okay, so they're now an elephant with Trample. Sneaky Tail. I know green hasn't had the most time in the spotlight, but holy cow, I'd love to see Tifa banned. I mean, Tifa's a glass cannon. She is absolutely scary when she goes off. I mean, we built a Pioneer deck around here back in the summer, and she can be extremely powerful, but at the same time, because it's mono green with her, you can destroy her pretty easily if you're the right color. I mean, red has burn spells. Black has hard removal. Blue has bounce effects. You saw we were able to bounce her back at least once. So I think the only color that has a hard time with her would be other green decks. But she is beatable. Annoying? Yes. But I wouldn't... I don't know. I guess I would have to wait and see what happens with her. Okay, opponent is... No, they got us now. Yeah, alright, opponent. Opponent beat us. Okay, they got the Arid Archway. Alright, we're dead. Toots. Wow, our Oozes have not been able to score victory here. Dang, that's a shame. It's okay, though. It's okay. Shaking it off. Let's try again. We're not giving up. We have to stick it out. We're going to still see if we can try to at least get one win with our budget Ooze deck. If that doesn't work, however, worst case scenario, we will upgrade, of course, the deck in just a little bit to really show you that you can get some good stuff with this. But okay. Okay. Breathing in. Okay. Breathing out. All right. So let's see. Not quite what we can use to actually cast things, but I feel maybe we can draw into what we need. Because also this gives us the hardened scales. That actually is a good card for us for the early start. Opponent is also playing a +1/+1 counter deck with Hamza here. It's actually a pretty good budget commander, but this will probably be something we'll talk about more once we get to the Basically series again. Now Mauser, that's cute. All right, we got Lush Oasis. Ping our opponent for 1. Opponents? Oh. Yay? Aw. Alright, well, I mean, guess a win's a win. Not what I wanted to see, but okay. I guess we got a pity win there. Joy. Okay, always get your dailies done, kids. The very minimum, always finish your dailies. Let's see. Agree to disagree, Sneaky Toilet. Green has had too many hexproof and make removal reliable. And I legit stopped playing because I was getting overkilled by hexproof 22 Tifa every turn 3. All right, well, I know that could be very discouraging, but we'll see how things turn out soon. Honestly, I haven't seen Tifa take off all that much, mostly just because she's in the shadow of Vivi. I played now enough Vivi on my own in different formats to kind of feel that Vivi is also the problem card. I do feel that maybe Tifa might take off in standard and other formats once Vivi is banned, because that is the next big threat out there, but I don't know. Vivi is too versatile for it to actually be ignored. But Tifa, I don't know. I guess maybe I don't play enough standard to kind of get a feel that Tifa is a problem. But the question we really need to ask ourselves is, besides Vivi getting banned, which we all know is going to happen, what else do you think is going to get banned in a couple weeks? Because even if Vivi's gone, that may not solve the issue of fixing standard. So until then, let's see here. I think we'll have to destroy this now. Alright, so that's gone. We hurt ourselves for 2, but that's a small price to pay. Okay, opponents. More islands. Y'shtola. So we'll see how this goes. Tap for the swamp. Bounce back the swamp. Okay, opponents. They got blast zones. Okay, they're charging it up. That's cute. We will bounce away our own swamp. Slime against humanity. Get those slimes. Get that ooze going. I don't think that standard can be fixed. Power creep is inevitable in the card game. I mean, you're not wrong, but I think the issue for me, after playing this for so long, is just right now, there's a lack. That power creep is inevitable in any game. But the issue comes down to there's too many cards for Wizards now to balance the format properly. I think I would probably say it that way. So that is my main issue, is just there's just too much going on for them to actually take the time to actually realize certain cards should have never been made. It seemed like it was a lot easier when things were powered down quite a bit. Okay. Okay, so opponent here. Okay, Y'shtola, coming down. Oh, already? Opponents! We were just getting started there. Okay. Not quite how I want to win, but I guess a win's a win, so alright. Okay. Well, okay, don't worry, everybody. We hopefully will get a full legit game where we actually get a win. We still got plenty of time in the stream. So I'll take my free, I guess I'll take my free wins for the dailies. So yay. Sneaky Toilet. So drop a bunch of sets. Sounds sad for people who make their decks, but I low-key like the idea. Yeah, because honestly, we didn't get that many bannings when we only ran like, what, 4 sets a year? Which, looking back now, does seem slow. But also, this was in an era where
we weren't figuring out metas within a week of the set dropping. So I kind of miss those days. I know I'm going to sound like a Magic boomer here for a second, but hear me out for my rant, everybody. Honestly, Magic was a lot better when we were slower and we were just focused on just one block. For those that are too young to remember this, back in my day, we would run for an entire year a whole set as a block. So in other words, you would have 3 sets from the same plane. In other words, say like if we went back to Strixhaven, we would have a whole year of Strixhaven. 3 sets for Strixhaven, the main set, a second set, and a smaller third set. The 4th set that we would have in a year would basically be a the set would be a core set. So I guess, what would that be now in this day? Foundations? So it'd be the foundation set for the year. But that's how we would structure it. That would help transition things to... Let's counterspell that, by the way. We've got to slow down our opponents. Too bad, opponents. And that's mostly how we built everything. Granted, I know some people may not like that because of how slow it may seem, but it worked pretty well for the longest time. But I would assume also the main reason and issue is Wizards now under Hasbro is required to just push things out faster and faster. We're getting 6.5 sets, basically 7 sets next year, which is ridiculous. But it does push out stuff more because the company needs to keep making product in order to build up profits. That's the main reason they're doing all this stuff. Let's be real. All right, so for this, we just need to slow down our opponent as much as possible here. So Cloud Key. Sorry, opponents. You're going to keep getting your stuff blown up. Too bad. And this helps us ramp. But yeah, that's honestly how I feel about it. There's just too much product coming out. Trust me, like, I'm still looking for cards that I haven't had a chance to play from, like, last year. But because it takes me so long to look at old cards, we're already moving on to the next set immediately. Having said that, the only exception I'll make to this is Spider-Man, because Spider-Man felt so half-baked. A lot of people in the community did not like how it turned out. And because of that, that's why we're kind of in a moment where everyone's just waiting until it's gone. All right, feed the Swarm. Take out Steel Overseer. Do you have an answer, opponents? Too bad, opponents. Play Slime Against Humanity. All right, we got our first ooze. Okay, Sneaky Toilet. I miss OG Yu-Gi-Oh! I honestly hate what it's turned into. One-turn kill decks, or you don't even bother playing. Oh, that sounds like Legacy/Vintage. Honestly, I actually played Master Duel when it came out, and I was really, really hyped because I was excited to think, ooh, I can actually rebuild my old Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck that I have in paper. I played it, and I had some wins with it until everyone figured out the formats, and then now I can't really play my own deck anymore. Maybe we might try to do that in the future. Maybe I'll do, like, one hilarious, maybe for, like, I don't know, maybe April Fools. Maybe we'll throw on, like, I don't know, a Pokemon TCG or a Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream. If you guys all want to see that, let me know. Okay, so in the meantime here, let's see. We don't have anything hard castable in the place, so I guess we'll just do it this way. Urgent Crisis. And not for any real value, but I guess it's better than nothing. Opponents, do you have a counterspell? If you do, now would be the time to use it. Opponents, you have an answer. 2 cards in hand. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh, I have to exile. Wow, I am absolutely stupid. Hopefully nobody saw that. Y'all didn't see that, by the way. You didn't see that. I can't believe I actually did that. I misread the card, and yeah. Again. See, this is why I don't enter tournaments. I'll probably completely lose the first round because I didn't read my cards. To be fair, in my defense, this is not a color combination I'm accustomed to. Nor are these cards something I'm also used to. Well, I look stupid now. Any case, I was going to swing here. They go up to second gear. Or I guess, what is that, speed 2? I don't know what they call it. You get what I'm trying to say, everybody. In the meantime, though, we do have at least one option here, so we can pump up our ooze here, so I guess that's fine. Okay, we swing. It also has trample, too, so this ooze will push through damage no matter what. Okay. Spiritual Augury. They don't have Proliferate yet, so they don't get any real value off of that, but hey, I'll take it. Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in my school days was peak. Whipping out the blue eyes was actually a spectacle. Wait, but didn't they actually create a new format recently for Yu-Gi-Oh! To kind of, you know, appeal to the Yu-Gi boomers like ourselves? I mean, what is that? They have what is it, the Genesis format? Isn't that the new format that everyone's kind of clamoring for? Yeah, Into the Flood Maw will probably be the one card that will wreck me. So let's see real quick. Let's dig out anything. 6 cards. Come on. Any kind of instant or sorcery. Come on, deck. Show me some love. Wait, do they have a counterspell? There it is. All right, well, you were right, Sneaky Toilet. I got wrecked there. Okay, well. Okay, I guess we'll get the Slime Against Humanity. I mean, the good news, though, of course, with our deck is it still will produce for us slimes, or at least tokens like this, no matter what. I don't think our opponent, however, has another Serum Visions. Or, I'm sorry, another Serum Snare. Or a Flood Maw. Again, you're right. Another Flood Maw might wreck us, but we still have more oozes to go through. Come on, deck. Okay, Mirror Pool. Opponent still trying to pump up here. If they get Mendicant to start making copies of artifacts, which they might do, no. They're at max speed. Ooh, he sacrificed to draw a card. Okay. 2 cards in hand, opponents. Chrome Host Seed Shark. Okay. Okay, Slick Imitator. Cute. We'll put counters on top of our card there. We're still going to push through damage. Some way, somehow. We're still in this fight. Down to 3. Actually, we'll wait for a moment there. Okay. So, 2 cards in hand. Can we pull this off? Ooh, we're close. Mirror Room. Okay. They're incubating. Ugh. That might be what hurts us. We got 2 reflections now. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Now they're going to make a comeback here. But we're so close to victory. Honestly, if we could just find something here, anything, that could slow them down, that would be great. Let's get a forest. Heartless Act. Okay. So, put more counters on top of that. Okay. We can Heartless Act away 1 creature. 3 damage. That's 1, 2, 3. Mendicant probably can go bye-bye. It's probably our biggest thing here. We'll wait. We'll wait it out. We still can afford maybe 1 turn before things go completely. Alright, let's act that away. Phew. Okay. So at least they can't make copies of other things for now. That's good. Ooh, Heck Dice. Actually, that actually might be kind of cute to use. Discard their last card. They have no options now. What do they have? Ooh, Arcbound Shikari. Okay. That might have been a problem, but thankfully that's now out of the way. Now at this point, let's start putting counters on things. Okay. So I think... Let's see. Okay. They have enough where they can still block our ooze here. But we're going to start pumping up everything else. We just need maybe like 1 or 2 more oozes. And I think we can get a win here. Okay. We're close. We're close. Opponent does not want to swing because they know on the backswing they will lose here. Okay. Exile the graveyard. Denied graveyard stuff. Alright. Slick Imitator. Some counters on that. Okay. So in this case then, well, I guess this is it. We're going for lethal right now. You have to block everything, opponent, and we have trample on the ooze. 1 card in hand. Is that enough? Okay, block and block. That means 1 point of damage can get through, though. Down to 2. Nice. Okay, we're now in a perfect spot here. Opponent, you have 1 turn. It's either do or die. Did we get there? Did we finally get our win today? Our first true legit win. Mythical Emissary. That's not enough. Because with that, they couldn't get their red source of mana, and we get our first legit victory. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. All right. Ooze, everybody. It was prime slime time. We got him. Okay. Yay. We actually got 1 legit win with the deck. But we're already going to be reaching the halfway point of the stream. So you know what? Let's actually take the deck to the next level now. What if we decided we actually wanted to take this to a much more stronger state? So if you did like what the deck is trying to do, let's see now what we can do to pump it up. Okay, GG's. Got to head off to now. Thanks for the chat, good sir. Hopefully you enjoy your day. Thanks again for popping by, Sneaky Toilet. Have a wonderful evening wherever you're at. Take care. Hopefully again we'll see you on stream again. And always be sure to burn bright. Later. All right, and with our fiery friend now taking off now, let's actually now cover the upgraded version of the deck now. So if you actually want to make this a lot stronger, we do want to still keep the core of the deck Oozes, but we're going to throw in a little bit more support that'll really help us out with some of the weaknesses for the deck. So of course, we need ways of pumping up our creatures a lot more faster. We need stronger removal, better counter spells, and maybe a couple more non-Oozes to make the deck a lot more in tune with that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing a little bit more on the +1/+1 counter strategy here. So the upgrades to the deck will be now as follows. So going into the 2-drop slot, we'll have Proph's Edict Memory here. Anytime we draw cards, we put X +1/+1 counters on a creature we control, where X is the number of cards you've drawn -1. So this will help us again pump up our team. So that'll be good for us. We'll throw in there for more powerful counter spells. We have Mana Drain here. This will help us with ramping and countering. Other upgrades to the deck. Innkeeper's Talent is an amazing piece here. We'll start putting +1/+1 counters on our team. At level 2, we can give all of them a little bit of protection with Ward 1. And if we get to level 3, that's going to be lights out for our opponent there. Other upgrades that we'll throw into the deck will be in the 3-drop slot here. So we'll throw in for some extra stuff. I'm trying to find again where our upgrades are. We'll then trim down actually 1 Slime Against Humanity just to make room for the other stuff. We have Terra Symbiosis here. Anytime we put +1/+1 counters on a creature, we can draw that many cards. We can only do this once a turn, but that's actually going to help us keep our hand full. We'll throw in Predator Ooze here. This is actually one of the oozes we didn't throw into the main deck, but this one for version here is actually pretty good for our deck overall. We'll throw in Tribute to the World Tree here. Anytime a creature we control enters, we draw cards if its power is 3 or greater, or we put +2 +1/+1 counters on the creature. So this is going to be great for us to just pump. In the 4-drop slot for upgrades here, we'll throw in Ouroboros here. So this is a Plant Worm. This is an amazing card that actually goes ridiculous with the deck. 4 mana, 1/3 Plant Worm. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature we control, where X is that creature's power. This can get absolutely insane once this starts going off. For more +1/+1 counter shenanigans, we'll throw in Genova, Ancient Calamity. I actually wanted to build a deck around this card specifically, but we just couldn't have the time to do it. Still, good for support for our deck here. So Genova here is going to be our alien. It's a 1/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Genova's power on up to 1 other target creature. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. Whenever a mutant you control dies during your turn, draw cards equal to its power. We might kind of put this in our back pocket for a future deck. Maybe once, maybe once Ninja Turtles comes out, because they will have some mutants in there that actually we could take advantage of with this card. But we'll talk about that in a future video. In terms of other upgrades here, we'll throw in a bit more stronger Wrath here. So we have Gix's Command, 5 mana to choose 2. Put 2 +1 counters on a creature. They gain lifelink. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Bring back 2 creatures from our graveyard to our hand, or an opponent sacrifices creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. For more win more options here, we have Primal Vigor. If 1 or more tokens would be created, create twice that many tokens. And if 1 or more +1/+1 counters we put on a creature, put twice that many counters on that creature instead. We'll throw in Acidic Slime. I'm sorry. Oh wait, we already have Acidic Slime. What was I saying there? In terms of other upgrades for the deck, we'll throw in Vraska, Betrayer Sting. So 6 mana for this Planeswalker. It has completed, so we can also then use this to proliferate, draw cards. We lose life, but we also can proliferate to make more and more counters become a thing. -2 a creature to make it a treasure artifact, and -9 is its finale, its ultimate ability. If an opponent has 9 or more or less poison counters, just add on the difference there. So this is going to be one of our backup plans here. Actually, now that I think about it, Primal Vigor, well, it's great, but maybe Doubling Season would actually be better here. Hold on. We're actually going to do this here and now. Yeah, I realize that Doubling Season actually is just the better option for us. So we'll cut instead the Primal Vigor. Still a good card, but if we had to pick at least one card, we're going to be doing Doubling Season. So with that, now that we got that out of the way, let's actually show you, of course, the other final part, which is going to be upgrading all of the lands. So we're going to be throwing on Ken all the dual lands that come into play untapped. So those will be much more better for us than our tapped duels. So we'll throw in a Pathway land, Gloom Lake Verge, Undercity Sewers, Watery Grave, Darkborn Pathways, Overgrown Tomb here, Underground Mortuary, Wastewood Verge, Bark Channel Pathway, Breeding Pool, Hedge Maze, Willow Rush Verge, Zagoth Triome. We'll now throw in Ancient Tomb for faster ramping. We will throw in some fetch lands, real fetch lands now, Misty Rainforest, Polluted Delta, Verdant Catacombs, and Prismatic Vista. So this is the upgraded version of the deck that actually is a lot stronger with better +1/+1 counter synergies. Can this version here be better than what we currently played? So now let's take this in. Okay, now we're going to get really serious here, really cooking here. Okay, we can do this. Feeling good. Okay. I probably should drink some water on the side here. Give me a second here, everybody. Gonna guzzle a little water here. Okay, here we go, everybody. Here we go.
It's time to
Yeah, all right, okay. Okay, so with that, let's see. Okay, and they're playing Volo. Alright, I think we should be okay with this. Golgari Charm, not too bad for later on. Throw out there our Bolligid Sanctuary. Sanctum Weaver, alright. So counters will be coming soon. Prismatic Vista. But it looks like we're going to be ramping here, no problem. We'll get out... Let's see, what do we want? Get an island. I guess it doesn't really matter because we have Farseek anyway. So this will help us get exactly what we want. We'll get out... Let's see, where is the Triome? Perfect. The Triome. So now our fixing is perfect. If we can at least get one more thing here. Okay, Augury's not bad. So let's see here. I guess we'll get Slime Against Humanity out first. So our first Ooze. And then from here, hopefully we can start digging around to get everything else we need. Demolition Field, okay. That's cute. Binding in the Old Gods, okay. We will slow down our opponent already? Opponent, I was about to go off there. Too bad, though. Win a win. We get our win just the same, so I'll take it. I'm guessing our opponent did not want us to start blowing up their stuff there. All right. But I'll take those wins. Okay. So, let's go ahead. Let's see if we can get actually a real legit match now. Like a real one. But while we're loading up, how's everyone doing so far? How's your weekend been, everybody? Hopefully everybody's weekend has been good. Has anybody been playing at any recent competitive events? Or are you still waiting for VV to get banned out of Standard? I saw a recent poll where some of you have been asking, we want to see more Standard content for the channel. And I'm happy to oblige with you. At least not yet. I will say right now, I'm more than happy to do Standard stuff once VV's gone. Once VV's gone, then we'll jump in with Avatar. So expect a lot of Avatar Standard sets coming out as our decks as soon as we can get to that point. Cookie! Hello, my fire friend. Thanks again for joining us today. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. It's good to see you again. Really happy to see you. I'm doing well. Just been a very tiring weekend. Surprisingly, we've been able to pull off here, and I don't know how I did it. I did a stream yesterday that was non-Magic related, and today where I was like, you know what, we have time. We can squeeze in another Magic stream. So we've been pretty busy, actually. Trying to do more and more content where we can. Okay, opponent is playing Arden here. Okay, I know this card pretty well. So expect our opponent to start trying to cheat sneaky stuff in really quickly here. Okay, pay 3 for the specimen. We have the Sink of the Stupor ready to go. So that's mostly what we have it for, is we want to just bounce certain things away that our opponent's going to try to try to throw away. Okay. Opponents. Nothing yet. All right. That's fine. Our first slime hits the field. What did we do for yesterday's stream? Oh, good question. So for yesterday's stream, we did Dead Space. The hour and a half that we played, it's on the... Oh, opponent blew up our prof. The stream's replay is actually up on the channel. It's in the members section, but I did leave it for free. Okay, so let's see here. Slick Imitator. So yeah, that's what we were doing yesterday was the... we did a nice little stream on that. We had everyone vote on it. So for Halloween, we chose to have me stream a completely different game. It was fun. At least until the stream, maybe about what? In the last 20 minutes, started pooping out, and then our stream's quality went completely down the drain. It was kind of unfortunate. So that's kind of why we had to cut the stream a little bit short. Sanguine Bond. All right. Opponent is slowly trying to go off here. Okay, so we do have a counter spell. That's good for later on. Prof's Edict Memory. Coming back. We'll draw a card. Puts a counter on top of the Imitator. We swing with the Imitator. Oh, ooh, opponent's blocking. Okay, that's cute. Do they have... Okay, they have Deadly Spute. All right. They draw 2. And make a treasure. So if Arden comes in now, we can counterspell him out. So that is good. And this is why we do it. Too bad, opponent. Deny. Oh, that felt good. Prismatic Vista, okay. Oh, okay, thankfully. Now we finally have the last part we needed. We need a black source. Okay, so with that, I only just have a slime in the yard. Changeling Outcast. Venomous Changeling. Swing here. Down to 21 opponents. Alright. We're at second gear. Letter of Acceptance. I think we'll wait on that one. If they have bigger... Oh, they're... Okay, that's fine. Let's see. We'll Demolition Field away the Nykthos. So that's gone. We'll also have Consuming Blob coming up too, so that's actually pretty good for us. Let us get out our forest. So now we actually have 2 pieces we can work with here. Pay the 1. Okay, so this time around... Alright, so we will add on to there Changeling Outcast, so we can convert this into an unblockable creature. Actually, it's not too shabby. Risky shortcut, they draw some cards. We lose 2 life each. Servant of the Stinger. Okay. Epicure of Blood. Alright, so our opponent's going to try to do some life gain and drain shenanigans here, coming up. Guess we'll use Consuming Blob here. Okay, no attacks yet. But we start making tokens, so that's now where the fun comes in. The tokens are coming. Can you beat it, opponents? Okay. They're going to start reanimating stuff, which is going to be a little bit scary, but it's not the worst. All right, no blocks yet. We go down to 14. They go up a chunk here. And ooh, that's a huge swing. Down to 8. Okay, so how do we get around this? Okay. Temperamental Oozewag. Okay, and then... I guess we'll convert here. Pay the 2. Okay. We go to part 3. All right. Make another token. Okay, so as long as we can keep making tokens, we should be able to just chump block everything. Oh, Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Okay, I think we might be done here. We can't block both of these without also dealing with some combo shenanigans, so... Yeah, we're dead. No matter what we do, our opponent has the right pieces to now stop us. Because they go up with life, which triggers off Sanguine Bond, which triggers off Bloodthirsty Conqueror in an infinite loop. And we're dead. Yeah. I've seen this combo a couple times. I've done it myself, but yeah. Alright, well, our opponent got us on that one. Unfortunate, but that's okay. Not a huge deal. It's okay, everybody. We shake that one off. We'll just move on to the next one. No big deal. We all chill over here, everybody. We all good. Okay, so moving on. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we can try this one more time here. Let's keep it going. Let's report the opponent for cheating. Oh, I totally should, because there's no way they could have gotten that all set up perfectly. No way. No way, in my opinion. But in all honesty, though, our opponent still had a pretty nifty little deck there, even if it was annoying. Alright, so, Silver Weapon. Alchemy cards. You. Boo. It's okay. It's okay. We'll find a way around this, everybody. Alright, Misty Rainforest. Pass. Okay, opponents. What else we got here? Alright. Temple of Silence. Scrying away. Okay. Tomatoes. Normally I wouldn't mind throwing tomatoes, but at the same time, wait, but I like eating tomatoes. I actually do eat them raw, by the way. I know it's a weird little quirk of mine that some people find disgusting that I do, but I'm serious. I actually do like to eat tomatoes, and I can't eat them like just as is. It's a wild thing. I don't know where I got that. I got that when I was growing up. Scheming Symmetry. Oh, okay. Opponent is trying to do something weird here. Okay. I guess I'll put the Ice Flan on top. The reason for that is to cycle. But it won't matter anyway, because we're just going to then reset it with this. And then we'll throw in there the Mortuary. Demolition Field on top. We'll leave that on top. Alright. And Demolition Field away. The Citadel. Alright. There we go. So with this, we will get out our island. And that should put us now in a good spot here for everything else. Because also the Scheming Symmetry also will mess with our opponent there. So our opponent's plan to use Scheming Symmetry it kind of fizzled on them. Striking Sliver, okay. First one. We will play Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Slick Imitator. Alright, we're at first gear. Cookie, let's eat with the tomato skin just like that. Add a little bit of salt, and it's just the best snack. Ooh, that sounds actually kind of tasty. I'd be so down to try that. Alright, so let's see here. Disciple. Tapped. And, Sultai Charm. Take out the Herald's Horn. Alright, we're good so far. Let's get to level 2 here. Second gear, if you will. Gix's command will be great once they start dumping out a bunch of their stuff. That'll be our best way to destroy everything they got. Tempered Sliver, okay. Ooh, okay. We might actually want to destroy that now then. So in that case then, Gix's command. Destroy each creature power 2 or greater. +1/+1 counters. Denied opponents. Alright, get some life back there. Third gear, we're at back to 26, they're at 21. And we were able to destroy a couple of slivers there. Hollow Head Sliver, okay. Slime Against Humanity will be great once we start doing our thing. We will play Slime Against Humanity. Experimental Augury. Ooh, we got Prime Speaker Vanifar coming. Proliferate. Now we're talking. Alright, we're doing good so far. We're at max speed, so now we can actually sacrifice this if we need to, but we might not need to for the next turn or so. Oh man, we're so close to going off here. Courteous Route, okay? Opponent is digging deep, getting those gates or land cards. They are trying to ramp in the hopes of getting out Sliver Weft Finder. What they don't know is we have a Mana Leak also waiting in the wings. Okay? But we're still in control of this match. We're doing great. Let's see here. Nothing we can really get with Mimeoplasm yet. But we can put down Prime Speaker Vanifar. Okay. We'll keep the Mana Leak open just in case. Still swinging. Ooh, opponent is blocking. Okay. That's cool. Opponents. They will discard a card to draw a card. Okay. Down to 14. Oh, we're close. I think we might be able to beat them down here. Sliver Wetfinder? Too bad. That's how I feel about your alchemy card opponent. Wizard class. Okay, that's cute. And that is game over for our opponent there. Yeah, we got you. Say no to slivers, everybody. But in all seriousness, if you actually did like slivers, we actually have our own budget version. If you haven't seen it already, that was a previous live stream we did a couple weeks ago. So check that one out. That was actually a really good one because we actually faced off against an actual Wizards of the Coast employee. That was actually fun. Okay, so far, still good still. We're doing good. Now we're really getting the swing of this deck. Maybe the non-budget one is probably going to be the better one than the budget. Sometimes we do get good budget decks. Sometimes we run bad budget decks. And then sometimes we run decks that are just not good either way. But so far it looks like today we're doing a lot better. Oh yes. Take that for the alchemy card. Blech. Okay, so moving on here. We got removal, a wrath, the ooze to eat stuff up, slime against humanity. All right, that's cute. We're facing off against Terra. Another card that I actually did like that came from Final Fantasy. That also we did a live stream on. Also, I think, what was that, back in August? Or maybe I think that was July. Either way, it was still pretty awesome. All right, let's start our engines. Opponents. Got a Scalding Tarn, so do you sack it, opponents? Yes. No. Maybe. Okay, they do. Okay, that's cool. Okay, they got their Triumph, so they're trying to ramp out. So let's see. So 5-color sagas. We've done this before. Our biggest thing we need to do is if they start throwing stuff into the yard that are enchantment creatures, we need to start eating those with Scavenging Ooze. Jukai Naturalist. Oh, okay, that's got to go. We can't have that stick around, so let's play our island. Heartless Act. Naturalist is gone. Nice. Down to 20. All right, second gear. Okay, Shockland. Ristic. No, they're playing Ristic Study. Okay, well, if they want to play Ristic Study, I mean, it's fine. Just gonna be very annoying to fight. We'll pay the 1, but we'll eat their Naturalist, so we can still keep gaining life. Down to 17. Third gear. Okay, so pretty good spot right now. Rada. Nothing else, opponents. Okay, Simic Charm. So first off, slime against humanity. Yes, we'll pay the 1. Okay. No attacks this time because Rada might have had a combat trick, so we're just gonna wait it out for a bit. I'm gonna wait until they put up a little bit more, and then maybe we can go from there. Okay. They get a forest. Awaken the Honored Dead. Oh, I totally forgot about this card. Maybe I actually could have added that into the deck. We'll talk about this card again near the end of the stream. Okay, opponent, Clash of the Icons. Okay. Alright, trying to stop us here. That's annoying. They cleared out a whole board. Innkeeper's Talent. Okay, so first off, Grave Shifter. They get a free card off of that. Small price to pay, but that's okay. We will get back our Scavenging Ooze. Put it back to our hand. Okay. So they shock, or at least, I'm sorry, they fetch, but that puts us at max speed now. Not that that's going to really help us out that much now that we lost the Slick Imitator, but again, that might be helpful when we actually get to that point again. Okay, is Terra coming down? Not yet. Go to 20. Oh, it's Yuna. All right. Okay. Well, that means now we got to really deal with Yuna, because otherwise this is going to be a problem for us. Okay, they hide away. Sink in the stupor. Okay, so... Pay the 3. Okay. Let's see. Does this help us out at all? It's for each creature with power 2 or less. Okay, I think we're going to do this in a funky way, so hear me out for a second here. So, okay, I think we'll do it this way. Put the counters on it. And that sacrifices it. Okay, so Yuna is gone. Phew, okay. Not the most conventional way to actually use removal, but it worked. So at least this way they can't get Yuna to do shenanigans. Now all we got to do is get Scavenging Ooze out. No, they brought it back. That's annoying. All right, so that means they get to recycle it again. Okay. Still annoying. But if we could start eating up some of their things, we might be able to then get around it. Okay. Terra. Okay. Oh, they got Summon Bahamut. Okay, well. Okay, I think we might be dead after this point. It's going to be hard for us to take care of a Bahamut with what we have. Okay, down to 14. Scavenging Ooze. And the Ristic Study kind of kills us at this point, so... We can bounce things back, but we're still not going to be able to get that with what we have, so we'll take the L. It's cool, though. It's fine. We will still press on, everyone. Still pushing on. Not a problem. Okay, so with that, shaking it off. And let's try this again. Let's get our game face on now.
It's time to
yeah, all right, okay. All right, so with that, so we got our modal lands. And from here, Ball again. Okay, they got a Scryland. A lot of people have Scrylands. A lot of Scrylands today. Play the Prismatic Vista, and we'll wait it out. Okay, opponent's playing Mabel. That's cute. Are they a mouse deck? Okay, but they're also going to be playing the mouse alchemy cards. Gross, by the way. Prismatic Vista. So this will be our black source. Okay. Swamp and Fatal Push away. No, no, we're not letting you do alchemy shenanigans. Clearwater Pathway. Pathway land. We will play our Expanding Ooze. It has Adapt, which is nice. So this will get bigger as the match goes on. Oh, they got recognition. Okay. Well, don't think you're going to be able to just get around stuff like what I have opponents. So with that... Actually, how do I want to do this here? We will discard here. Opponents. Opponents. Restoration Magic. Alright. We can... Play that tapped. No, hold on. Actually, we'll wait for a second here. We'll wait. Okay, so our opponent really wanted to keep that Recruit Instructor in play. Diamond Pickaxe. Okay, so now they're going to start going wide with their stupid little mice here. Oh, gee. Jeez, it does all that. See, this is why alchemy cards, everyone. Just, come on. I know it's a mythic, but come on. It's just ridiculous. Feather of Flight. Oh, jeez. Alright. We'll deal with this here. Alright, so... Thankfully, though, we do have a Carnivorous Canopy. Say bye-bye. Get that out of the way. None of your disgustingness here. No attacks. Okay. Opponents. Oh, come on. Okay, you know what? I'm not dealing with this nonsense. No, I will not entertain the idea of alchemy cards. No, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm not dealing with that nonsense. That absolutely is stupid. I know. Not too many things in Magic drive me nuts. I can tolerate combo decks. I could tolerate graveyard shenanigans, discard, stacks. But alchemy cards, no. I really don't want to deal with that. I'm sorry. I know some people might think I'm being a little bit... what's the word I'm searching for? I'm pretty sure some people might there be like, you know, just get over it kind of thing. But no, it's the principle. We're not dealing with that nonsense. And on principle, I don't use alchemy cards as much as if I can avoid them, I will avoid them. I'll put it that way. But in any case, shaking that off, let's get to the next one here. We will see. We just need to get our third land drop. We should be good to go with this. Playing against Kefka here. Kefka's scary, but a cool card. I do like it. Okay. Put down our first land. We need a green or black source to turn on the Verge then completely, but we should have no problem finding that. We do need to get to our third land drop though. Okay, still not quite there yet. Come on, deck. Third land drop, that's all we need. Okay. Yeah, island. Swiftfoot Boots. Mana League That's out of the way. So no protection for you, opponents. Ogre Jelly, okay. We'll put it on 1. Not much of a threat now, but if we can build to our other stuff, that should be good. Okay. Another island. Bajukabog. Not the land we wanted now, but I guess that makes sure that they'll not get their Swiftfoot Boots this game. Okay. Opponents. We will swing. Opponents. Anything else? Nothing yet. 24. If we can get to one more green source, then we will be in business here. Alright, still in an awkward spot, but I guess we'll make it work still. Venomous Changeling. Opponents? Any answers still? Nothing. Maybe? Come on, give me something to work with here. Come on. Opponents? Opponent's working at the speed of a 56k connection here, everybody. Come on. Okay. Down to 23. Literally, we're going to be doing this the slow way. By the time I'm done with this match, I'll probably be late for my shift by 8 hours. Okay. Anything else, opponents? Come on. Not trying to rush you, but I don't have all day. By the time you play your next game, we already should be getting previews for avatar cards. Okay, Harmonic Prodigy. Still no... Dang. Okay, we'll have to draw some cards here. Okay. So I think we might have to do some stuff with 3 steps ahead. I wanted to save this as a counterspell, but we're not going to be able to make it there if we don't get our next land drops. Okay. So, opponents, Got their black source, okay. So, 3 steps ahead at this point. We will draw 2. Okay, there's our 2 lands, finally. Okay, so in the meantime, I guess we'll throw away Temperamental Ooze. Okay, we will discard another card. Okay. But at least now we have what we need. Sort of. Actually, I realize we can't really play ideally what we want to. Slime Against Humanity. Okay, they draw 2. Okay, opponents. Anything else? Oh, I forgot. The trigger goes off twice because of Harmonic. Okay, so we lose 2 cards here. That's annoying. Okay. Wow, this is actually kind of a hard one here, so I guess we'll throw away the island. Not that I wanted to do that. Okay. Alright. Anything else, opponents? Okay, Arcane Signet. A little slow on that one, but I guess we'll take it, so... Pathway. Signet. Can't play anything still. Jeez. Making this so hard. Come on, deck. Missing that land drop a turn ago really hurt us now, because now we're in a spot where Kefka can start doing stuff here. They're going to make us throw away our whole board, and we can't really bounce back here. I was hoping the Ochre Jelly would be able to get to a point where we can actually make it work, but it's not working now. So I'll swing here. We lose 2 more cards in the deal. Jeez, okay. Alright, well, okay. This is actually a tough one now. Dang. That hurt us. Getting double triggers is not good. I'll throw away the Biogenic Ooze. We want that Orboroid. Minimum, we want that. Okay, no blocks. At least with the Orboroid, we can kind of bounce back a little bit. At least I hope. Okay, Command Tower. Now we're getting all of our lands. Joy. Okay. At least now we're starting to get a little stronger here. Come on, deck. It's not too late to make a comeback. Whew, okay. Aquazaws, so we don't have anything else to discard at this point. Okay, nothing else. Okay, opponents. So drawing cards. Okay. Nothing yet, of course. Down to 17. Okay, so, well, I guess that's gonna die. You might as well just play it. No true value, but it is what it is. At least now our stuff is starting to grow. So we're getting to a point now where we actually might be able to start causing havoc for our opponents. Cookie, it's fine. You don't need to play when aren't having fun. No problem. Yeah, you're not wrong. There's moments where... Yeah, there's matches where sometimes I kind of torture myself to just keep playing. Aw, fell with Profane. Okay. Dang. Wow, our opponent managed to curve out so well against us while we struggled to get lands. And by the time they started snowballing before we could, we failed to get our lands when we needed them. Dang. That's a shame. All right. Opponents, are you swinging? They're taking a long time here, opponents. Unfortunately, I am on time limit. Okay, they got Monument to Endurance. Okay, swinging. Wait. I was going to say, they're swinging with Kefka. Okay. Down to 13, they go up to 27. Verge. Okay, so at this point now... Okay, I guess we'll do here. We'll get out... Actually, hold on. Okay, the 2 there. Start pumping it up. Okay, well, we got stuff going on now. Sort of. Oh, maybe we should have gotten the Oboroid instead. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's not impossible. That's sacrifice permanent. Okay. I guess it's gonna be the signets. It's the only thing we really can sacrifice. Okay. Opponents. They flip now into Kefka, Ruler of Ruin. Whenever an opponent loses life, they draw that many cards. I'm surprised they actually flipped it. Alright. We go down to 4. They draw a stupid amount of cards. Wow. Yeesh. We didn't actually even do that good with Kefka, and our opponent is just steamrolling us right now. Okay, well, we only got one more shot here. They reanimate our Ouroboros. Joy. They got to throw away a ton of cards now. Like, can we even make copies of Oozes with this? Oh, we can't even do that. That's terrible. Wow, 3 pips is a tough cost to ask for. Cookie trying to rally us here with trying to help us build a snowball, but it's just not working. But I still appreciate you trying just the same. Okay. Still keeps drawing more cards. We go down to 3. They draw 6 more. Are you done, opponents? I guess we should have paid the 1 extra mana to get the Ouroboros too, but I guess I miscounted there. Who would have thought that that was going to be what killed us there? Okay, so we got one more turn to pull this off, which is not going to happen now that we're getting nothing but lands. Okay. Well, I guess we just make an ooze. And we can just do a desperation swing, but that's not going to do anything. Even if our opponent doesn't block, it doesn't help. Okay, opponents, are you even going to let us get some damage in? Okay, you know what? You're taking too long, opponent. I'm sorry. I already know I'm going to lose, so I'll just deal with that. I'm sorry. I have other games I got to get to, and also we are running it out of time just a little bit. So we have maybe at most 15 more minutes in this stream, everybody, and then we're going to have to end it there. So I think to make sure we do finish this on time, the next match is going to be the final one for today, everybody. I know it's a little bit shorter than normal, so I do apologize for that, but I also don't want to be late for my actual big boy job. So this will be the final one, everybody. Let's rally together.
It's time to
This is it. Win or lose. Okay, so come on, opponent. Give me a good game. Don't give me anything poo-poo. All right. We will have this tapped. They're playing Brawl, so it's going to be Counterspell City, everybody. Can we get through this? Okay, Island. Got our Triumph. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Put down the Triumph. Okay, opponents, if they put down and land and then get Brawl out, then we can counterspell it. Witching Well, okay. Okay, so they will scry. That's cute. We got our Swamp. Play the Forest. And we'll go from there. But we do have our own counterspells, so this shouldn't be too bad. Okay. Wash away. Sorry, opponents. Do you have an answer? Maybe? Oh, Swan Song. Wow, they actually did have an option for us. Alright, well, still annoying, but not the worst. Polluted Delta. So with that, we will get out Breeding Pool. We'll shock ourselves. This is going to be our only chance to get the Tribute to the World Tree out. Down to 23. So now that we have that, if we can just get down some more things here, maybe we might be able to pull this off. Hopefully. Anything else about it? Chart a course. Okay, they draw some cards. Okay. 3 lands open. Oh, 2. Okay. Okay. Clock is ticking. We're looking at best, maybe about 10 more minutes, and then we're going to have to cut it, everybody. So hopefully we can get a win here. I would like for us to get a win. Okay, Ogre Jelly's not bad either. Okay, so with that, Verge land. Pay for 1. Just one. Do you have another counterspell opponents? Okay. We get 3. We get some counters on that. That's nice. Let's keep swinging with our bird that our opponent gifted us. Better than nothing, I guess. Okay. 3 steps ahead is still waiting in the wings. So if we need to get into a counterspell fight, we can hold our own for a smidge. They draw 2. Opponent. Putting down an island. Arcane Signet. Okay. At least they can't swing at us for now. Okay. Oh, we also got a mana leak. That's good too. So for now, Bajuka Bog. Okay, so that's all gone. I guess we'll start swinging here. Our opponent is focusing on counter spells and mono blue shenanigans. We hopefully should be able to just start getting through stuff here. Okay. What you got, opponents? Time warp. Okay, so we got to counter that. Do you have an answer, opponents? Okay. Come on, tap out. Okay. There we go. Hey, hold on. Almost countered my own spell there. Denied. Yes. Phew. I mean, they still get to do their surveil shenanigans, which is a small price to pay. But I'll take it. They will draw a card, discard a card. Okay. But at least the biggest threat is down. The time warp is out of the way. Okay. Anything else, opponents? No. Okay, they do hit us for 1. Okay. Wastewood Verge. We don't have anything to copy, unfortunately. So I guess we're just going to swing. Down to 11. Okay, God Eternal Kefnet. Ugh. Can we still get around this? 19 at 11. Genova. Okay, Genova's not too bad. Alright, put some counters on it. Okay, we'll put more counters on. Let's see. Push through damage here. Our Ogre Jelly also still has the ward, so this is actually good for us. Alright, down to 10. God Eternal Covenant is down, but because of its ability, it'll go back into the... Yeah, it'll go back into the deck, but that's a small price to pay. At least it's out of the way. Also, thanks to Genova's ability, we also can start pumping up our other creatures. If the Ogre Jelly dies, we also can draw a ton of cards off of it, so this might be the key to our victory here. Ooh, Quantum Riddler. Golgari Charm. Okay. Well, I think we can pull this off here. Okay, so still on the jelly. Okay, we can destroy the Search for Ascanta if we need to. If the jelly dies, we can also bring it back with Mimeoplasm anyway. Sink into Stupor.
Opponent, did you just try to counter that and get nothing out of it?
Opponents!
You silly goose. What were you trying to do there? Down to 1.
Opponents! I think you kind of made a mistake there. But to make sure they don't do anything else, Search for Ascanta is down. Okay, so no more shenanigans there. Oh man, that was the break we needed. Will our opponent shame scoop from that? They haven't given up yet. Okay. Opponent wants to bring in Kefnet. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, that's a desperation move. They draw.
Is that it? Did we get the win? And we did. Our opponent's mistake there costed them the match, and we take the victory. Yeah! Woo!
I think that makes up for the mistake we made earlier in the stream. So you know what? I will take it. Nice. Good way to end it there, everybody. So again, apologize one more time. I know we usually go at least until a full 2 hours, but I do have to take care of some stuff. So I do want to make sure I end this on time. So also I'm not late for my next destination. But before we go, as always, let's cover the deck overall. So what did you think about it, everybody? How did you feel about Prime Slime Time? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? To be honest, I'm just going to say it right now. You actually don't need to do slimes. You don't need to do oozes in any way, shape, or form to make this deck successful. I only did it that way because it was a unique take and idea that I really wanted to play with. Also, small spoiler, the deck actually was inspired by, and I know this is being kind of silly on me, but Mrs. Inferno and I actually watched over the weekend Ghostbusters. Like, it was the first time she actually saw Ghostbusters. It's one of my beloved movies from the 80s. Good movie, a little goofy now, a little antiquated, but I still have a soft spot for the movies and the cartoon. So because of that, obviously there's ghosts in there. There's a key spirit named Slimer. He's an adorable little spud. And from that, I was like, you know what? From the second movie, also with the ooze stuff that they had from the storyline, that inspired me to make this deck in the first place. So that's actually where I came up with the idea for this deck. But again, you don't need to have the Mimeoplasm have ooze support. You can use any kinds of cards to do the copy ability, but that's a whole different deck and a whole completely different realm of stuff that you want to build into. I just figured, an ooze deck was something that's a little bit more off the beaten path, so I wanted to play something not the typical, but something a lot more fun. So that's where my process is. But if you do want to do something that's stronger than oozes, the sky's the limit on this, so you can kind of go nuts with whatever you want to. Having said that, oozes definitely still can provide good support for Mimeoplasm because, again, you get the support of +1/+1 counters, you have the support of tokens. That actually can do pretty well for you. Granted, our budget deck didn't really get a chance to shine too much today. I still like it for what it is. So if you do like oozes, check it out. You might actually be surprised at what you can kind of twist around if you want to. Having said that, we definitely got some solid wins today with the upgraded deck. It is going to be very expensive, but if you can afford it, whether it's on Arena or in paper, more power to you. You definitely have a lot of stuff here that works really well with you. Having said that, there are still some cards you can go even beyond with this if you really want to be that player. So again, cards that I didn't really add in this time around that if you want to, you can. So obviously the number one thing you can upgrade into if you want to play this deck is going to be, of course, Rhystic Study. There's nothing else I really want to say. Could I have added this card in myself for the upgraded deck? Yes. Did I want to? Not really, because it sometimes just feels like just a card just to throw in for anything if you're just in the color. But if you want to do that, go for it. You'll definitely make your deck feel a lot more stronger, but you're probably going to get a lot of hate for it. So your mileage varies on that one. Having said that, again, same thing. If you don't want to do oozes, if you don't want to do that, more power to you to twist it to, copy stuff. And if you want to go that route, I would recommend it for upgrading it. Everything you can throw into the graveyard that you can copy that is extremely broken. By all means, do it that way. But if you want to do oozes, this probably will be one of the better options for you, at least in my opinion, for this. But of course, as always, once we get to I probably won't be able to do it here, but at some point, I will add, of course, into the details of the live stream, the deck lists for both of these, regardless of whatever platform you're on. Now, before we go, to give you an idea of what's to come up, my True Fire friends who have been sticking around for the entire stream, this is what we're going to be doing for our next deck tech that's coming out. If not tomorrow morning, for sure, it's going to go out on Tuesday morning. So just before we get to Halloween, we want to do one more Halloween themed deck. Well, maybe I might have time for two. But first off, this one is going to be our Bloodlust deck. So this is our next budget deck tech for the holiday. So we're celebrating Halloween with a nice little vampire reanimator deck. So cute little deck here on budget. So check it out once we actually get that video going, coming up very soon. Beyond that, our next live stream, I believe we'll do it on Wednesday. We're going to be doing a Haunted Mansion deck. So for those of you that don't know, Disneyland, of course, has the Haunted House, i.e. the Haunted Mansion. We're still in the process of building it, but it's going to be a 5-color room deck. I haven't had a chance to play with Marina from last year's Duskmourn set. So I was like, you know what? Let's play with her for a bit. See if we can build her on a budget for a 5-color enchantment deck. So that's going to be the future live stream coming up. And then our next one probably will be on Saturday, just after Halloween. So maybe we'll do something, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a fun stream around my culture's holiday, so Dia de los Muertos. So we might actually do maybe like a skeleton deck or maybe a spirit deck. I know we already did a spirit deck, but maybe we'll do a Brawl spirit deck, or maybe we'll do like a skeleton deck. Something fun like that. Again, nothing crazy, but something to enjoy. And of course, starting on, what is it, Tuesday, we're going to start getting the Avatar previews. So hopefully that'll be a much more fun set. It can't be any worse than Spider-Man. No offense to Spider-Man lovers out there. If you like the set, more power to you. It just fell flat for me as an Omen Pass / Spider-Man set. I don't know. I know I already mentioned a lot about stuff that I just was not fond of with the deck, and I don't want to end the stream on a poo-poo note. But again, I hope that the next Universes Beyond set coming out with Avatar will be much more better, and hopefully I'm sure the community will be more open to it. Hopefully we'll get some fun cards from that. Either way, we'll start brewing soon for those cards once we get to November itself. But until next time, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Shout outs again to those of you that were jumping into the chat today. So Sneaky Toilet, I know you're already asleep, but thanks again for joining us today. Cookie, once again, I always appreciate you guys being my true fire friends who are always popping in when you can. Anytime you pop up, even for like a moment, I really do appreciate you guys. And of course, any and all of you that have been watching against any of our other live streams, whether you're watching on Instagram or if you're watching on X, or as well as YouTube and Twitch. Thank you one more time, everybody, for your continued support. I'll be more than happy to keep doing this if you guys want to keep watching me do my budget jank stuff. But otherwise, have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, everybody, wherever you're at. And before I go, I want to leave you, as always, with an important note to remember me by. Just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We'll see you again on Wednesday, everybody. Later.